Alright, now. Okay, so I'll just repeat that again since it wasn't that far. So the whole purpose of this session and the whole reason why labbing is important is because, especially in like the case of Tekken 8, because it just came out like a few weeks, like 3 weeks ago, people are going to be abusing strategies and strings that even the professionals are getting frustrated at because it's a new game. So by labbing, you are at least like studying how to deal with these sort of situations in the most optimal way. And another reason is because even if you know the general idea of how to deal with certain situations, like for example with Dragonor's running 2, you might not have the most optimal way of like punishing it properly. So using the practice mode or at least labbing will allow you to optimize it in the best way possible. So there are three. So I think I'll get straight to the point. There are three things you need to take into consideration when you try to lab: before, during, and after. So in before, right? What I mean is before they do the move, can you actually deter it from being used in the first place? So for example, let's say for the case of dealing with running to Dragunov, you've seen a lot of like Dragunov players like use this in neutral, they try to close in pressure, and it's just really frustrating to deal with. Now, the real question is, right, in this case, the whole point of the before section I just said is, now you're trying to figure out whether hello, Papa. So you're trying to figure out whether stuff like this can be deterred in the first place. So how can we start? You can start by doing a few things. By assessing a few things. First, can you use your movement? Which in this case, for those of you experienced players, I'm sure you know, you can just move like laterally. Well, I fucked up that, but oh my god. This is not a good way to start things, but the point is still there. Normally you want to avoid running 2 by moving, but you also want to find out like other ways to deal with it. Maybe you can use like a counting tool, for example. I think I'm sidetracking here. So first things first, you want to figure out if you can actually move around. Whether you can use your movement to move around like a certain string or tool. So in running 2's case, as you can see, you can use your movement to at least like try to move around to a degree because sometimes they can always realign it, but it's one of the more easier ways to deal with the string. I mean the move. Now apart from that, let's say you don't want to use your movement. Maybe you want to use buttons to try and cover the option. Now in this case, sure, you could like use your jabs and all that to snuff it out, but you have to remember, you also need to assess one more thing. You also need to add in one more factor when doing something like that: is your decision actually worth it? So let's say, for example, I'll give you a scenario, right? You are let me put it. This won't be another move entirely, but I'll just so for example, let's say in the case of Dragonor's match, so technically you could step it, but in the scenario where let's say for example you are both low HP, and even though you know that stepping is actually a good way to, get around certain moves, you think to yourself, you are both low HP, is it worth it? And apart from like trying to figure out what you can do with, at least what I do lah. Apart from trying to figure out ways to deal with the situations, you also want to think to yourself, is this the best way to deal with it, and should I do this in every possible, in every single scenario. So in this case, going back to the running tool, even though I could like actually use my movement, or I could like snuff it out like a fast coming doctor, sometimes you have to think to yourself, is my timing good? Have I figured its timing enough? Is it actually worth it to do something like this instead of just simply blocking, depending on my HP and the situation? If like, let's say my back is against the wall, or if I'm low HP and he's just trying to do a running tool to force a 50-50 to a mix up where I have to guess or die. So stuff like that lah, you have to take into consideration. So next part, which is the during phase. So let's say for example you block a string, like and especially a class on block 1. Now you have to, when you get into the situation, you might think to yourself, what can I do to deal with such a string? For example, let's say Leo's back on Tula. Actually, since I wanna actually perform engagement, right? I want any of you guys, just any one of you guys in the call, just give me 1 or 2 strings. I want someone here to like just give me 1 or 2 strings that maybe you have trouble dealing with in ranked, or something that we could lab together lah.
Azucena, the running tree 2.
Azucena running tree 2.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about like strings lah. Like let's say, actually, you know what? No, I think we can start there. That move is actually broken. I agree.
Get ready for the next battle.
Azucena. Actually, running tree 2, I wouldn't consider it a string lah. It's more or less a running. It's actually a running tool. It's not a string per se.
Maybe down forward 1-4 strings.
Oh, if Azucena. Oh yeah. Let's see.
Down forward 1-4-1 into down forward 1-4-1-2.
Yeah, and I'm also reading the chat. Some of them say like drag back 4-2-1 junkyard. Yeah, that's a good idea. I think I'll pick like 2 to 3 from here lah. So okay, let's see. Down forward 1. Oh. Let's see. These 2, right? Is it?
This is the string that get hit the last one.
Hold on, let me recall it. Great, both of these, is it?
Yeah, right.
And I believe there is a mix-up option afterwards, right? There we go. This shit. Let's see. Fastest move will be here. It's gonna take a fair bit lah, but if you guys have any like other strings, if you wanna add on, I'll just like, you guys just post in the chat, or just like talk to me as I am recording everything lah. So cause it might take a short bit for me to record all this. Great, since you actually recommended this, right? If let's say since you play Azucena, since I'm not familiar with her yet, how about let's say you go into like down 4-1-2 1-4 into this stance, right? What are the main moves that usually come up from this that you think players will struggle with?
Probably the hell sweep, I think. But I really see. Usually people just use down forward 1-4-1. That's all. And down forward 1-2. not from. They already use the Libertador transition from there.
Which is -4, I think.
In this case, right, since we're like we want to cover all options lah, so even though most Azucenas might not use it, like there's a chance that you also want to cover the options lah, just in case if let's say they decided to go for the mix up. So
I see.
I guess in this case, right, what are the key moves that Azucena players like to do from this stance? I know the Hell Sweep is one of them lah.
Yeah.
This one is another one, I believe.
Probably just walk forward because they bait for jabs.
Or this one evades the highs, is it?
Yeah,
I see. All right.
evade highs and lows.
And got this one also lah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
There's one move that it forced me for force crouch. Force
Back
crouch.
three.
He give me a force crouch.
But that's not really string though. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we'll get to that. We'll get to the concept later. We'll get to that part later lah. I think. But for now, I just want to focus on the string part lah. So just to get the point across. And then afterwards, like when all said and done, we can just like lap together lah as like a group. So. Okay lah. We recorded the first two strings and let's say.
Yeah, that's good.
And for good measure, we'll put in the fastest thing there, which is Libertano 1, I believe. Just for interrupts. And what are the scary mids that that Azucena players like to do from Libertano, Gray? Out of your experience, and Ashkabla, since you're here also.
Probably 4.
4.
Yeah.
4-1.
4-1.
Ash, you there? Wait, is he there?
Just do down forward 1-4 into Libertador and press 4-1.
4-1.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, okay. And is this how many? Never mind lah. We'll get that for that. Okay. Okay lah.
Yeah.
We'll use that for now.
The second one, they tend to use more at the wall for wall splat. They're risky sometimes.
Okay. Alright. Is there any more moves that I should be aware of? Oh yeah. There's one. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Libertador 4-1, Libertador 1+2, down 4-4, and 1-2. Yeah, that's. I think you already covered a lot of it.
Yeah. Cause when labbing like strings like this, for example, I would usually try to cover like the fastest options, the scariest
Last
mids,
time only
and the
off, now
lowest.
only on.
Yeah. So this one will be how far is this? 14, 15. Okay lah. Then wait. The fastest mid would be.
I think 4. I think 4 or 1+2. I forgot.
2. Okay. Okay, let's see. This one? Let's see. Okay, then we can cancel this for now. Alright, so I believe that should be most of the options for now lah. I'll do I think the next one I'll do is Junkyard lah, because I think that's like, even though most players don't really get caught by that nowadays, I think it's still something that beginner players tend to struggle with. So giving them an idea of like what they can do is actually good. But for now, considering that Azucena is the one of the more popular characters that plagues the ranked matches, I think doing something like this will help. So back to the topic, right? The during section, phase 2. So what I mean by this is, let's say you block something like down 4-1-2, down 4-1-4 from Azucena, and you get shit on by basically the string mix-ups lah. So you might ask yourself, these strings are OP, but can I deal with it? So what I usually do, right, is if let's say I'm facing a string like this, for example, I would usually try to go through almost each and every move that could come out of said string. And in this case, you could just do down 4-1-4 into the mid, the high, and then the rest are just like the Libertano strings if you cancel the high lah. So let's start off with. I recorded the high, right? I did. Okay. I guess we'll start off with the high first. So in this case, right, down 4-1-4 from Azucena, if you haven't faced her yet, it's a jailing string. You literally cannot duck the second hit for whatever reason, unless you make the first hit with like that. If you block it, you have to actually like take the first two hits. You cannot like simply duck you cannot simply duck it, and if you get hit, it's natural. It's her 13 frame punish, and the damage is actually quite insane. So how can you deal with this? So in this case, it's simple. For the high, it's simple lah. You can just duck and punish. But can you step it? No, you can't. It's too fast for it to come out. And before I continue, right now I'm just trying to show you like how I would usually go through the situations like this lah. For those of you who just joined and are a bit confused. So yeah, in this case, if you predict that the high comes out, you will normally just duck it, and just punish accordingly. Now let's go to the next move that could come out. The move in the mid. Now in this case, well, I don't need to explain lah. It's a mid that if you duck, you get knocked down, but in this case, it's punishable. Can you step it? Nope. No, you cannot. Can you walk? No, either. So that means he has really good tracking lah. And a good thing is that it doesn't have counter tools. However, one thing if you notice right between the two strings is that even though it's a high and a mid, is that the mid here, it actually Azucena hesitates a bit before actually doing the mid. So when I notice something like this, right, I would think to myself, can I fuzzy this? Yes, I can. When is Akai coming out? Oh my god, the moment I asked. There we go, got punished. So yeah, that's the whole point of that. So even though like the down 4-1 string is pretty like busted and quite annoying to deal with, if let's say you see other players are using the first two strings only without the mix-up, then at least you can like recognize the option that, oh, I can just fuzzy this. And if let's say they do the mid, I just punish accordingly. If they do the high, then I launch up. In Jun's case, it's a bit harder because her down 4-2 is a bit slower. But the point is still there that as long as you recognize the situation and punish accordingly, you do good against most of the Azucenas out there lah.
I think someone asked what is fuzzy. What do you mean by fuzzy? Fuzzy.
Oh yeah, sorry. So, okay, so fuzzying, right, is a concept where you try to, in Tekken's case, it's a concept where you try to cover both between a high and a mid, or a mid and a low in one swift motion. So what I mean by this is, for example, in this case, right, I'll just do another one. So in this case, right, the high, so two things can come out from the down 4-1-4 string. You can do the high, which is well, fast high lah, that also knocks down for whatever reason, but at the same time it's duckable. So if you duck it, you can launch them. but it can also be covered by the mid, which is slower but is unsafe, but prevents you from ducking entirely. So you want to try and in this case, right? The mid is actually slower than the high, and the high is duckable. So normally, what most pro players do, right? Fuzzing is basically just trying to cover two options at two options with different properties at once. By properties, I mean like mid, high, low lah. So in this case, when I say I'm trying to like fuzzy the high mid mix up. What this means is I'm trying to duck the high, while also blocking the mid at the same time, because both moves come out at separate at different types lah. So in this case, because the high is faster, because the high comes out faster, you want to duck the high first, and when the mid comes out later, you want to stand up and block at the same time. See? So the mid comes out slower, that you could do something like this lah. Like you could duck the high while also standing up fast enough to block the mid. And that's the whole point of fuzzing.
How to like react faster? Like sometimes you tend to be nervous, right? Then you want to punish, then you cannot do anything. You just press any button.
Sorry. Could you repeat that? I'm not. Could you give a context maybe, like, or I'm not.
Like okay, basically, like for example, you want to punish, right? But sometimes your reaction is quite slow, so you cannot do anything. You just gut only. Then you don't know how to, like, you tend to be panicked and to punish.
In that scenario, right? Like I think you already answered it yourself as well. You were nervous when you try to do these sort of things. So I assume you, based on when you said that, like you seem to like, you already mentioned that you know something is punishable, and you know you have you know how to deal with a sort of string, but you were too nervous to deal with it in the first place. So as easy of an answer it sounds, right? You pretty much just need to maintain the composure and just try to not be nervous lah. And that might seem easier said than done, because tournament players, we also tend to get very nervous during tournament. But in my case, right, how I would deal with it personally is I would buy my time and like try to tell myself, okay, if let's say this guy is pressuring me, I should try to not let it get to my head. Just try to tell myself, okay, it's just a game, don't worry. If let's say I lose to this now, I can recognize it the next time we meet, or the next time we play, or at least during the next round. And of course, like the more you play, the faster your composure gets lah. The faster and better your composure gets. So yeah.
So basically, you have to play more, so you can gain more composure.
Yeah, for sure. It's fundamental to anything any new like topic or activity you try to do, because if you want to understand something more, you're going to need to do it more. And if you don't, and when you're starting something for the first time, I think everyone has this issue. Not to say an issue lah. Everyone has experienced this at least once. When you start something new for the first time, you're not going to figure out on the spot, oh, I should be like, I should be doing XYZ. Imagine if a beginner comes in and they just go, oh, I have no idea how to play this game. I should learn how to play to learn how to use frame data efficiently. It's like, in a real world that will never happen, and it's going to limit them as well, because they would be, it's just weird. The point I'm trying to make is that you don't have to worry about like being nervous now. It's normal, and it's understandable, because not only has a game came out, I remember you mentioned as well before that you also want to get back into the game. You're sort of like new-ish to it, if I'm not mistaken. So you don't have
Somewhat new, but yeah, somewhat new.
Yeah, don't worry about it lah. Like like over time as you play more, right? As you figure out like more strategies, more moves, how characters play, when you get a overall like feel for things, right? You will eventually get more accustomed to how the gameplay works, and the nerves just disappear over time. It won't disappear completely lah, because you are going to be nervous like every now and then. But the more you play, the more you understand. The more you understand, the less nerves you have. Because if I'm assuming you, I'm not sure if you heard lah. There's a term called fear of uncertainty, and this can only be eliminated as you play more. So yeah, the more you play, the more you, the less you be nervous. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Thanks.
yeah, no problem, man. Anything else you wanna ask?
No, never mind. Continue first.
Alright.
Just to add on to what Jacket say, right? So some of the like concrete stuff you can do to get more experience so that you don't get nervous, right? Is you can like practice this whatever setup that you are worried about OSing in a real match, right? You can lab it more, like go and drill yourself answering it correctly consecutively for like maybe 5 times, 10 times, and then you build your way up so that in a real match you are less worried about, oh no, am I gonna fail it? Because you've already done it so many times in practice, you know you can do it. Then it's about executing in a real match. Then also it helps to, like, let's say you're having trouble with Azucena, right? Find the opponent that plays Azucena and play a long session with him, so that you can get a lot of practice immediately on like what you have trouble dealing with. You can apply it right away, compared to like if you play rank on normal match, right? It's like best of 3 system right now. You are gonna, you meet million times, the next opponent might be a different character altogether. You won't really have time to adapt or to put into practice what you've learned. So it can be helpful to play a long session, add a Azucena opponent as your friend and go play a long lobby. That helps lah, I find. Like play a long session so you can really build that muscle memory over a long session. Yeah.
Okay. So far, I don't have any Azucena.
Oh yeah. Yeah, don't worry. I also know nothing about this character, but I know some strings lah, and I'm actually just talked to Gray about like what are the main parts that Azucena likes to do. So technically, I'm also learning as I go as well, since I haven't played Tekken 8 much to know more of the tier characters. But the whole point of this session is to learn about the concepts, not about the characters. The characters will come as we go.
Okay, thanks. Yeah.
Right. Just cheese. Let me finish this part and then I'll answer the question. What is it? Your question lah. So I think that's a good question also, since I also talked about running 2 earlier. Don't worry. So whatever question you guys do, you just type in the chat and then we'll answer it. And let's say you need to go. Let's say we are late in answering the questions. Don't worry, we got the recording, so we will. So I will post this in YouTube, and after that, you guys can just refer to it lah. So whatever you ask, just ask here in the chat or in the PC. So for now, so I don't actually like go off tangent. I might as well just finish this part off. So okay, we already covered the concept of fuzzing and like the first 2 strings, right? So now we want to get into the mix up scenario. Okay, so first up, we got the healthy. Now in this case, right, let's say the Azucena is smart and they realize, oh, you are now fuzzing most of down for 1 stuff. How can I deal with this? Now, before I continue this, I also want to go back to the previous topic I talked about now. If you're labbing, can you deal with it before? So in this case, let's say let's say you do down for 1-4 on block into the Libertano stance, like the Azucena does it to you, and let's say you predict it. Well, in this case, because the frame data says it's you are plus 17 on block, that means if let's say you predict her trying to go for the mix up, that means it's long as lah. So I think that's pretty clear cut for that. And you might think to yourself, what if she tries to do the other buttons? The thing about Tekken is that not everything, you will not get the right decisions 100% of the time, even though you understand the scenarios behind, like the full scenario. At the end of the day, you need to also understand what your opponent likes to do and work around them. So if let's say she likes to mix the highs and then do the mix up right after, you need to assess, maybe does she likes to do the mix up more, or does she like to do the buttons more? And depending on how they respond, you play accordingly lah. So let's say she likes to do the mix up more, right? Like let's say 90% of the time she does the Libertano mix ups, and then like 10% of the time she only does the high or mid follow up. If like that, just launch them lah. Or if you don't want to launch them, just do a pass poke. The point is, you want to make sure you limit every option they have. You cannot simply just like let them get away with things for free. Like you have to remember that any decision making that your opponent does, you have to try and limit it to the best way possible. In other words, play as unfair. If it means mashing, if it means using your movement, if it means just not playing the game and just like defending or just staying on the ground, by all means, you just need to recognize the scenario and play accordingly to what's the best thing to what answers do you have for all these scenarios, and what's the best answer out of all of them, like a multi-choice question lah. Out of four answers, you pick the best one. Same case comes here. Sorry. Okay, so back to the topic. So the hell sweep is pretty annoying because it tracks, and what the hell? Okay, I guess I was lucky. Wait, Gray, are you here still?
Yeah.
Is Azucena's hell sweep supposed to track, or does it not? If I'm not mistaken, it should, right?
It kinda doesn't if you're that minus like from down forward 1-4.
Oh. Okay lah. Then I'll just ignore it then. Alright. Okay, I guess back to the point lah. That was just so normally if you want to face the hell sweep from what do you call it, Azucena stance, it usually tracks lah. So in this scenario, don't ignore the fact that I managed to such separate it. No, just assume that it's tracking, as it usually is. So anyways, back to the point. You see it coming, you just block, and because it's a hell sweep, you want to block and launch with the best punisher possible. In this case, for me, was anything. Okay, next one. Next one is the Libertano 1, which also has like 1-2 lah. It's similar to her 1-2 jab, which wall splats. So why did I bring this? So the reason I brought this up is because it's not really that like threatening in general lah, but it's the fastest move that she can use to come out. And let's say you get hit by this, and you know she's trying to go for a mix up. If you look at the frames if you look at the frame counter on the bottom left, right, it says that despite getting hit and the fact that she is going for the mix up right after, you are still plus. So what this means is that if you recognize this, that means you can mash with you can still mash afterwards, despite her using the fastest thing possible. In this case, my launcher is 16 frames long, so there we go. Yeah, despite getting hit, I'm still plus on block, plus on hit. So I can still mash my way out if I know she's just trying to go for a mix up every time after down for 1-4. And that's the reason why I added the fastest move in the string kit, is because even though it's not really that threatening, if you also want to figure out if let's say you got hit by it, what are my options if I want to mash out? In this case, anything below. Okay, in her case, the attack startup is 13 frames, so literally, and because it's she's I'm +6 on hit, 6 plus 3 is 9, meaning I can do any move that is 18 frames and below before she can interrupt me. Even though I got hit. Anyways, of course, just to remind you, if I decide to mash after she tries to do the string, right? If let's say I guess wrong, I'm just going to get covered it. So of course you have to take this as a. Of course, I'm just trying to remind you that even though she has like strings, even though you can interrupt the strings, right, the mix-ups, you also have to remember, like I mentioned earlier, you are going to guess wrong sometimes, and you also need to keep that into consideration lah when you're labbing. Not everything that you're doing will be guaranteed if you go into a real match, but by doing this, you can at least cover most of your options. It's like you wear a seat. It's like you wear a seatbelt. You're not going to prevent accidents, but it prevents you from dying. Same case here. Okay, next one would be this. Now, this one is a mid launcher. If I'm not mistaken, this goes under highs, right? Great, can you confirm this for me since you know Azucena more?
Pardon? What?
Libertano 1+2, does it go under highs?
1 plus
Because I
2.
know it's a mid. Basically, it's just a mid launcher lah. That is -14.
It looks.
Something like that, maybe it goes under lows instead.
Nah, it doesn't. Nah, it doesn't lah.
So there is -14 when you on block, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
14.
basically I can use my jet upper for Brian.
Yeah.
Can.
Yeah. Oh yeah, use Brian, right? Yeah, you just jet upper lah. So in this case, right, you wanna assess. In this case, can I move around it? Yes, I can. Oh wait. Can I move around it on hit? Yes, I can. Can I mash out? Can I mash out? Because you can beat the fastest move, which is his 30 frame high. You can. So now we go back to the next one. Okay, the mid. Now because you can already beat the 13 frame like high, right? You can definitely beat her 14 frame mid, even though you got it. And in June's case, it's even better lah because she has a safe launcher. But if let's say you don't want to go for launcher, you can just go for simple jab check and whatever fast roll you want to go for lah. So back to the main scenario. Can I sidestep this on hit?
Is it true that like some characters weak on the left side or right side, or
What do you mean by that?
when you want to sidestep lah and you want to do punish?
Okay, so different characters. I'm assuming you're referring to the sidestep chart, is it?
Yeah. I don't.
Sorry. What do you say?
I know. Yeah. It's the chart lah. The chart.
Okay. So yeah, the chart is I think I'll bring that up lah since hold on. I think I Tekken 8 sidestep chart. I might as well bring it up in the call.
It's pinned in Tekken discussion.
Tekken discussion.
You pinned it in Tekken discussion.
Honest, yeah, but I wanna bring up on Google. I completely, yeah. Okay, let's see. Now, how do I change it? Okay.
My bad, that's the heat smash chart, front to front.
Okay. Is this the one? Yes, it is. Okay, let me change the window capture to. What is this? OBS as well. Yeah, just for recording. Okay, so you guys can see this, right? The size chart.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah, I can see.
Alright, good. So now I'll also talk about the disclaimers later lah, because you shouldn't follow this verbatim for a number of reasons. But for the time being, right? So the reason why people make charts like this is because depending on the character, some of their moves are weaker to certain sides. However, like for example, for Mishimas, right? For example, like Kazuya, and I guess previously Heihachi and so forth, right? You want to sidestep left because most of their moves on paper they don't track well to their right. So if you sidestep left, you can theoretically avoid their moves. And this applies to every other character lah. Like some of their tools track better one way than the other. So on paper, yes, every character has a weak side, but at the same time, you really don't wanna base your sidestep movement on the chart itself. I think you've probably heard this before, if you haven't, right? You want to step the moves, not the characters. Because for example, right? Let me think of a character. Raven. You see this Raven sidestep. It says sidestep left, right?
Yes.
Yeah. If you have actually like met Raven players, at least back in Tekken 7, if you want to sidestep left Raven in general, right, good luck lah. This character, even though on paper you can sidestep left him because some of his tools don't track well to that way, right? He has a lot of good tools that will prevent you from stepping left in the first place, and it's one of his main kits. In other words, he's down for one. He's down for one, right? For some reason, it prevents you from simply like sidestepping left efficiently. I'm not sure if the new sidestep system affects it in Tekken 8 as well. But the point I'm trying to make is that just because like the chart here says you should sidestep left a certain character doesn't mean you should. Especially if they have really good tools that deter you from doing so. Even worse if they launch you. Raven knew down for one track both sides. Now that's even worse. It was already tracking like really well to both sides back then and it's still the same now. So yeah, no change. And you might think to yourself, it's just a down for one. How bad can that be? Well, when you consider the fact that he could just shit it out 24/7, right? And now that he has a extension, which of course is minor 14, but it's knocked down, but it's a new string that everyone gets caught by. And the fact that he also has like vortex moves, like for example his QCF4, right? Which even though you try to stab, you are most likely going to get caught by it, or even his up forward 4. Even though like it says that you can sidestep left, a lot of his main tools prevent you from doing so in the first place, so you can kind of see why a lot of pro players don't like to use charts like this in the first place, because it's not a reliable source for you to base your movement on. What usually people like to do, right, is if let's say you don't want to go through the whole move list, you want to just do something quick, right? Normally you will go through the list of wait, let me bring up the chart. So I'll post this in the chat now, but this is basically a Google spreadsheet that Able made this for Tekken 7 lah. So this is a Google spreadsheet that usually contains the basic rundowns of each character, like what tools do they have, their combos, just a generic rundown, which I believe, based on what I've read so far, it's pretty fucking good. You can like use it. You can use this to like if you want to pick up a certain character, you can just give a brief read through and just understand how to use them efficiently. And it's being updated because the creator is actually pretty good at making guides himself. And if I'm not mistaken, he's also from Australia as well. Yeah, shout out to Atle. And it's being updated because as you can see, the moment the Eddie session came out, he's already like updating it, trying to update the Eddie stuff already. So you know you'll be seeing this in the long run. Okay, so let's see. Raven. So back to the topic. Let's say I want to try and like learn how to side what are the key tools that the Raven players like to use. I would just go through the list and see, Raven players like to use one jab, down for one, down back two, standing 3-3, back one, blah blah blah. These are the main tools that you sometimes see like Raven players generally use for example. And in your case, since you want to sidestep right, you would briefly just go through the list and like go, oh okay, I see these tools a lot, can I sidestep them? I wouldn't. Okay, just to save time, I'm not going to go through the list because I know the answer, but to give you the answer right, no, you are not going to step any of this. Maybe except for down back 2 down back 2 on the right timing you can step it, but the rest, good luck lah. Raven is not a character you can step efficiently, I'm afraid. So yeah, that's pretty much the case lah. Any other questions, Chosen?
So far,
Like
not now yet lah. Not yet lah.
anything you want me to elaborate based on what I said, or
So far, I think now not yet lah. I don't know what to think of.
alright man, no worries. Alright. Guess I'll continue. Let me switch the screen. Let's see. There we go. Alright, I guess we'll go with the last ring for now. And after I go with the last ring, then I'll start answering some of the questions inside the text chat. So because I already promised it lah. So in this case, you're plus 6 on hit. You're plus 6 despite getting hit. You know this, and you can beat
The
the
screen's
fast.
still on your browser.
Sorry, I am.
The screen's still on your browser.
Oh, I guess I have to close and open again
Oh.
because I already changed it. You can see it now.
Yeah.
You can see already. Can.
You can see technically. Okay lah. If
Can.
yeah, if anything, just let me know. Because I don't. I wouldn't. It showed I was streaming the game. Okay, so yeah, back to the topic. Even though you got hit by down for 1-4, if you know you're going for a mix up, you are plus 6 and the fastest mode is 30 frame. You do a 50 frame launcher, you'll beat them regardless. And there's no exception for the mage, which is much slower than the high. Can you step it? Yeah, I tried both ways, sidewalk and sidestep. You cannot sidestep left or sidewalk left. You can sidewalk right, but you cannot sidestep right. However, if you want to sidewalk right, it has to be a really precise timing, because if you are so much as late by a bit, you are pretty much going to get hit. And that's not a good thing lah. However, now we get to the final point. Which is the best case scenario? The short answer is, because stepping is like risky, right? And you can pretty much interrupt anyway with like 6 frame mid and below, 16 frame move and below. Might as well just like mash a mid launcher or mid hit lah, and go from there. Alright.
What's the last hit? That string.
Libertano 2. So Wait, is it Libertano? I don't know how you pronounce it lah. Sorry if I got it wrong. Basically, it's just
Yeah,
the
it's something like
the string.
Libertador lah. Yeah.
Huh?
14,
Ah,
14 frame. Okay.
Yeah, it's a-
If on block, like how many frame is it? Like,
okay. -8.
oh, minus 2.
Yeah, yeah, so it's like still safe lah.
Safe.
Oh yeah, yeah. I saw the question, Direns. I'll answer it shortly. Oh wait. Oh, this is about the. As I said now, let me see. Can't you just buffer out of block stun? The sidestep when she transitions. Oh, oh, there's more moves, is it? Buffer SS when you block her string into Wait, what the hell? Buffer sidestep when you block her string. Oh wait, when I you want me to sidestep, is it? Is that what you're saying? Because I thought you meant okay. Okay, I see. Yeah, I was afraid. Yeah, I was afraid this was the same case. So in Tekken 7, and I guess the same now, right? If you try to, you can't exactly like buffer sidestep consistently, especially if you want to sidestep right, because chances are, if you got hit and you try to buffer a sidestep right, you might get ducked. And the same case applies the opposite way. Like sometimes you would see players, they want to sidestep left because they know a move is coming, but instead they jump and then they die. And it's the same case here lah. So technically you can buffer, but you might as well just do the manual input instead because it's actually safer. But either way, it's not actually worth it to sidestep like this stance in general because a lot of the stuff is actually, the tracking on it is actually not that bad, and you are better off just like either blocking or just mashing out of things depending on the situation. And
Maybe you can try your character's individual power crush options also. Another thing to consider.
Oh yeah, that as well. Actually,
Now your power crush will lose to lows lah, but you know.
you have 8 frames to press up or down before the first input of SS is registered out of block stun. Is it 8 frames? Oh wow, okay. You have 8 frames to press up or down. Yeah, even though you can theoretically sidestep it, it's like not worth it. Alright, yeah, but yeah, thanks Hangman. Alright. I think now since I already gone through the downfall 1 string as an example, right? Let me answer like wait, where is the question that just cheese? Yeah, there. So just cheese. He asked the question on how do we know when to sidestep and when to sidewalk. So let's go back to, let's see. I want to say running 2 right with Dragonon, but let's use another like popular scenario lah. Sometimes you would see Devil Jin players use this. Now, for those of you who've been to rank, right, you probably, well, I would say probably lah, but most likely lah, you've definitely seen this a lot. Plus on block, it's a high, and if you get blocked by it, you get into a Morning Crow mix-up. In other words, pretty fucking jarring, and it's -11, so you can't actually mash out of it. Otherwise, you get shit on by not this one, this.
I for Devil Jin, right, I always get the mixed up of like the four or three, I don't know, the Devil Jin. After you do the morning cross thing.
Forward 4?
I think four, I'm not sure.
Yes?
Is it three or is it three or four? I don't know. The one your leg like extended out. I think three. I think four. Just four. Is,
Forward
is,
this?
I don't know which one. Like
Three
one
double
one.
four.
Huh?
The one move he do the mid like
Uh,
I know I never gym player, so I don't know.
oh, oh yeah,
Is it up forward four?
Not that one. It's like the legs extended in front one. Not that. What I what I move Because I think one of my matches I have yeah, I always got hit by that.
uh, hmm, I'm not, I'm not sure which, he might mean wait, which,
Is it
X
morning
kick-
crow 4 on hit?
Wait, X
Yeah.
kick,
And then you
are you
press.
talking
Yeah,
about?
that's the
Press
one.
two.
That's the one.
Oh,
Yeah,
that one.
that's the one. That's the one. He do the morning crow and then he mix up with that. I always
Oh,
get that.
oh, okay, okay, I see what you mean. Okay, okay, okay.
That's the one. Because it's very like annoying.
Yeah, so I'll get into that lah. Since we're already on the topic. Okay. Okay. I'll just ignore this last since we'll never. Actually, no. People do silly shit. Even though you'll never really see this, some bad actor might actually do it for fun, and you need to be prepared. Okay, so I guess okay. Before I start, I might as well just address your question lah. So let's say this right. So in your case right, upper one is +8 on block, and back 4 is a frame trap. So if you try to match anything at all, you are going to get counter hit into a combo no matter what. And because you're in full card, wait, is this full card?
Wait, does that move track?
No, it isn't.
Oh no, it isn't. Sorry, what were we saying? Does that
Oh, just now the red move just now, like what Monaco use?
this?
Ah yeah, that one does it track both sides?
No.
I think
How-
morning crow.
however- sorry, what? Okay lah. Technically no, but no one does this wrong. Every time you're going to see this move is when they do shit like R41, and you are too minus to be able to step in the first place. So it's like you don't even want to try. It's not.
Oh,
Yeah, like you can. You've got other shit like these lah, and you know lah.
oh I see. Okay.
Yeah, it's punishable.
Oh, Alpha 1 transitions to the Morning Crow.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Just to clarify.
Yeah. So Alpha 1 you really it's a pretty jarring move lah, but I'll get to the point of how to do it. So so for example, back to the topic of like what Justice asked earlier is like how do I know when to sidestep and sidestep block. So normally you can only like do this by gaining info from your opponent and understanding how the character is usually played. For example, in my case, right? Let's say for example, I've already faced like a million Devil Jins in Tekken, for example. If I were like proficient in like understanding the matchup, I would try to understand two things. What does the character like to do a lot, and also what does the player like to do a lot. So in this case, right, one of the key tools that Devil Jin player likes to use is, well, up 4-1 and 4-4-2. Well, okay, yeah. Okay, I'll just do this one first. Now, up 4-1, to get to the point, it's basically a high, which has long range, and the recovery on it is pretty good. Like, if let's say you block it at tip range, right? Sorry, duck it at tip range. It's going to be really hard to launch it, especially when you got other tools like 4-4-U preventing you from ducking in general. Especially considering he can also do the heat smash right after. But apart from that, you can also sidestep right if you time it right. So if let's say you know like the Devil Jin player, like if you're experienced enough and you know the Devil Jin player likes to use up 4-1 a lot, like let's say, get away first. Let's say in neutral you're just like moving around and you're predicting that the Devil Jin player would like to do like between 4-4-2 and up 4-1, right? In both cases, you can technically sidestep right, set them right to make it wave. 4-4-2 being a bit harder. What I would do is I usually just sidestep right block, and the only way you can like find out how to gain that timing, like I said earlier, is to just gain the experience. It's all part of experience lah. So in this case, really hard to deal with it. But if you know your timing and you know how to get around it, you can at least like limit that options, preventing them from abusing some bullshit like this lah. But then again, there's a reason why this character is popular. Even though you're able to sidestep it, his tracking is really fucking good, and you still have to block or eat the mix up every now and then. But if you know how to sidestep accordingly, you can at least limit the options and prevent them from doing as much of bullshit as they can lah. In other words, you can try to duck it or time your sidestep based on what they like to do about in neutral. So, I guess we'll go back to the point lah. So, up 4-1, you block this and you're dealing with this. Now, what do you usually do afterwards? In this case, let's start off with the main move, which is up with Morning Crow 1. You can jab and interrupt after it because in this case, right? So let's see, you're plus 11 and the move is 22 frame startup. So what this means is 22 minus 11 is 11. 22 minus 11, 11. So you can do any move that is 10 frames and below. You can interrupt him. So in this case, it's just a jab lah. Any more, you're gonna kind of counter it lah. However, can you move around it? Wow, sidestep right is hard as well. Anyways, yeah, you can. It's pretty linear actually, but at the same time, right, this brings us to move number 2. Now, this is a Morning Crow 2-2 and you will never usually see this raw, but most people usually, yeah, you probably got hit by this lah. Usually if you got hit by up 4-1, right, most Devil Jin players, they usually like to confirm it into the Morning Crow 2-2 because it just gets immediate hit and then you know the bullshit lah. His match is pretty overpowered. However, that does not prevent them from not doing it in general lah. So you want to prepare yourself. If you block it, it's minus 14 and it forces crouch. In June's case, you can get a free launch from it. But you wanna think. Let's say you're trying to sidestep for. You're trying to preemptively sidestep like Morning Crow 1. Can you sidestep this as well? No, you can't. Because not only does the move come out at 15 frames, so you only got like 4 frames of leniency, which no move in the game allows you to simply get away from me, whether it be like flash or movement or whatever. The only good side to this is that it's minus 14. But if you get hit by it, then it's over lah. Like hit into mix up into GG. So you have to assess accordingly lah. Even though it's minus 14, the Devil Gene in hit. And
Oh, it goes to force crouch, huh?
yeah. But like I said, if you try to sidestep Morning Crow 1, right, and he does Morning Crow 2 just to cut you out and take the risk, you are now against a Devil Gene player in heat, and then this bullshit lah. Hell Sweep mix-ups, and then you got the what is it? Heat Smash. It's a very dangerous game to play. And it's very jarring. Okay, next one. Now this one 23 frames. So that means plus 11 minus 23 minus 11, 12 frames. So 12 frames and below. So this is 12 frames. So you can just do jab lah if you don't have a 11 frame like before. Keep in mind, right, whenever you block Alpha 1, you are actually he's actually forced to go into Morning Crow regardless. And you can notice how you realize some of his main options, 2 out of 3, you can actually interrupt with the jab and kill him for it. So let's say you don't want to sidestep Alpha 1 in neutral, right? Let's say you're not confident in that. That's fine. If you want something simpler, right, and you feel like the Devil Gene player is not going to take the risk, you can just do a 1 jab and then you get a full combo with it. Because 2 out of 3 of his main options give you a full combo just like that. And by the way, I actually did not learn this beforehand. I'm actually learning it as we go. So we are actually learning together in this case lah.
Wait, you can interrupt with 1 jab after the upper 1 to Morning Crow. Just now I saw you interrupt with the jab.
Yeah, I'm learning as I go. That's the whole point of the session lah.
Oh, okay. Because I really need this guy lah. Because I kind of struggle with Devil Gene a lot at the beginning week of Tekken 8 lah. Because I saw many Devil Gene lah.
Yeah, that's fine. I also don't like the character being too overpowered lah. But
Oh yeah, I gotta take note of it. Thank you for showing.
yeah, no problem.
Just wondering the Morning Crow with back 4, I think.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's the frame.
Morning. Oh yeah. Sorry, I forgot about that. Okay, so No, I did cover this just now.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you after you block Morning Crow 1, you are minus 8. So and it's also and back 4 is a 7 frame move. So no matter what you do, you want to mash with a jab, you want to do anything, you cannot. The best thing you can do is block lah. Because back 4 especially back 4 is not easy to stab actually. And especially considering you are minus on block, minus 8, you are not going to stab this in general. So you are going to have to sadly for Morning Crow 1, right, you are going to have to take the L the moment you block it. The moment you block Morning Crow 1 is you pretty much have to take the L lah. And let's say he's not gonna go for back 4, right? I'm sure you know this. He can go for he goes for Morning Crow 1 and then do that's how sweep as a mix up, yeah. And at the end of the day, the moment you get into this scenario, right, it's purely out of intuition lah. Do you want to mash after -8 and risk the back 4 counter hit launch?
Phew.
Yeah, it's a bit ridiculous lah. Yeah, he's
No
yeah.
wonder he's top 5 lah.
Yeah, Pain. Back 4 is ridiculous lah. And back 4, what is it? Mix out with down 3.
So the back 4 is push back like you like push the opponent away, is it?
Sorry?
The back 4 when you on block
Back 4 on block
is it they will push the opponent away or?
Let's test it out. Wrong move. I don't know the answer to that question, but you know, slap it out. That's the whole reason we're here.
Oh, you push away.
Yeah.
But you never mind. Maybe later lah because I'm not sure whether it's wasp plan or what.
Back 4. No. Oh wait. Not. We're about to get to the wall. How about we just learn right here? All right. That's your answer. No.
Oh no. Okay, can. Thanks.
None at all. See? Alright. Am I missing anything?
Sorry, what's special meat? That one move just now, the ground move.
Yeah. I wanted to get into that actually.
Alright.
Wait. Not this one. So I don't know what's the purpose of this move. Oh, okay. Now I found out. Okay, if you. It's essentially a knockdown special move, and I guess it's used for the only purpose I can see this is for combos lah. So if let's say I were to okay lah, yeah. It's I can see from that scenario that because it's a special mid, right, the only thing you can really use it is for combos. And if let's say someone mashes with a really slow move because they don't know how to match up, then free combo lah. But yeah, realistically, right, Devil G players are going to mix up with like Monocro 1 or Monocro 2, or they just do nothing and then go for mix up just to pin you out if they're really cocky. But as you can see, right, like 2 out of 3 of the options are basically goes for the top. You can just use your we learn now that we can just use a one jab. I'm fucking one jab. Yeah. Anyways, we can use the one jab to simply interrupt him out after blocking upper one. And a lot of Devil Jin players, especially in like the mid and low rank, I notice they like to abuse this a lot. So if you are able to, now that we learned that we can jab 2 out of the 3 options, at least you understand that you can prevent them from doing this entire mix-up in the first place, the Monocro 1 bullshit. And you might think to yourself, what if they do Monocro 2 too? Well, that just means you get strong lah, but it also means that the guy is willing to take risks. So -14, force crouch, depending on your character. In June's case, you get a free launch, you go for her. Some characters you get a free knockdown, free launch, or free punish. So assess the situation as you go lah.
June 14 free launcher? What?
Yep. While sending 3 is a 14 frame mid launcher that can punish a lot of stuff and also comes out from this.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay.
Wait, let me read the chat before I continue because I don't want to miss anything. Know that he can just do Monocro 2 and not finish the second hit. Oh, can he? Oh, okay. Now let's slap that then. Oh no, I messed up. He has a grab out of Monocro during heat. What the fuck? Alright. We're gonna have to lap that too.
Oh my god, that's God. What the fool?
Laughing out loud.
Why you laugh like one villain like that?
No, he's actually a Devil Jin main. They both laugh the same.
Devil Jin mean, oh my god. Same mind, same brain cell.
No, I don't know if it actually.
Not gonna lie, Morning Crow kind of just carried my ass through ranks at times. So yeah.
Yep.
What the fuck, bro?
It's a jarring move. Really jarring. Right, where was I? Oh yeah. Okay, record this so I don't miss it out and okay, we do this. Right, so 15 frame. Oh. Actually the same case lah. It's minus 13. Wait, does it jail?
Just want to
It
know
does.
what's the meaning of jail?
Okay,
Like,
so jailing moves are basically moves that even if you want to interrupt in between, right, you cannot move, you cannot press a button. So if let's say for example Jones down for 2, 1+2, it jails. So what this means is that even if you want to punish the first hit, right, if I try to do the extension, you cannot press anything. You can't move, you can't press anything lah.
oh, you just block lah.
Yeah, you just block it.
Hmm.
So it's a good and bad thing depending on the character. For Azucena's down for 1-4, like we talked about earlier, that move jails, meaning you cannot dunk the second hit. So and it's a natural hit as well. So if you so you have to block and take the L lah. Good for Azucena players, bad for everyone else. June also the same. You got the down 4-2, right, and it's minus 12. But because of the extension, right, it makes it safe regardless. And it's a win for June players, but shit for everyone else lah.
We watch both from mid, but we also do not sure is it track.
Sorry, her down 4-2?
Her this move, the one that you did just now. Down forward 2, then the extension.
The extension.
Yeah. The one is tracks, right? No, or
I'm not sure actually. Let's see. Let's lab it. Let's see. Standing block, and then after that, sidewalk. You want sidewalk, right, for example. Sidewalk left.
oh, it tracks both.
It tracks if you do it at close range. Oh wait, mid range. He literally just got killed by it. There we go.
Oh, it tracks both sides.
Surprisingly well. Oh,
Wow.
that's down for 1. But I guess during tip range, right? From what I just... Yeah, there we go. I guess in like further ranges, right? The tracking like wears off. But at very close range... What the fuck? Now this is just inconsistent. So you basically just pray to God that it just tracks off. Oh.
Alright, thanks.
Is that June down forward 2? What if you delay the down forward 2 after the jab?
Down for 2. Oh, then you definitely hit lah. Like the tracking on the move is actually really good based on my experience with her. And honestly, right, stepping down for you can step down for 2, but you pray to God that it doesn't simply track you and you know lah. This is me just trying to delay for a split second. Nope. Okay. And it's a safe meat as well. And I guess I might as well show it as well. That if you get hit by this, this is all guaranteed. 68 plus let's see, 22.
Wait, even you take is guaranteed. Wait, even though you take rule, it's still guaranteed. Right?
No, nothing you can do. 90 damage on the spot. Like
Oh wow, that's a lot.
yeah, and you don't even need the heat. I just did it because it's easier. But by right, if let's say you do it wrong, you can also do it. Yeah, see? 71 plus 22, that's 93. So that is more damage without the heat. It's not that hard also, you just sidestep left. And if you time it right, they will actually get caught and you get a back combo. And that's like almost your entire life bar just because you got up wrong. So yeah,
This one work on all characters, even the female characters.
everyone. This
Okay.
it's harder on bears lah, but pretty much everyone. Yeah. So case in point, this character bullshit lah. June is bullshit. Devil Jin bullshit. So yeah. Oh. Anyways, let's go back to this. Now, Alpha 1. So we know for a fact that this move, this does not jail. You block the first hit, you're gonna get hit by the second, and that's gonna be annoying because if you want to punish, you have to pick a decision on whether you want to punish the 2 hits lah. But at the same time, it's not really that big of a deal because if you are going to predict that he's going to do the morning crow 2-2, right? Then you were already going to block regardless. And I'm not sure if you remember lah, but earlier when I was talking about fuzzing, right? In a sort of way, this also applies to morning to covering several of the same moves as well as strings on whether they finish it or not. So in this case, okay, let me do this. Okay, yeah, there we go. So let's say I do this, right? And let's say I'm trying to cover 2 options. Let's say I don't want to mash afterwards. But if let's say he does the first hit alone, and for whatever reason he tries to go for another mix-up, can I interrupt it? Or at least can I recognize that I interrupt it? Okay, so yeah, back to the topic. So something like this, right? If he does the full extension, right, the animation will play out, and at least you can get the full string. I mean, at least you can get the punish. But if it doesn't actually complete it, at least you can like try to interrupt it with the before his fastest skill can come out. Something like that lah. And I think we'll cover this last room from this character. reason they decide to do this. You will never see an actual Divergent player use this, but just in case lah. If let's say you see if you see them like do this for whatever reason, right? Just launch. It's -29. There's no exception set come out, so don't be spooked if you think, oh, it's just another variation of half 4. It's not. The moment you block this, it's over for them. If they missing code or they want to do some simple shit.
That one launcher. The Divergent.
No, this is actually meant for. This is actually meant for combo actually.
The second hit and third hit only works if the first hit hits, so if it don't block, it does nothing.
Yeah, what he said. So it's like you only do it. People only use it for combos lah. But the reason I decided to add it in is because if you're gonna lab a string, right, you wanna lab every possible situation that could come out, even the bullshit ones. Cause like you might never know. Maybe you go. It's Evo Grand Finals. It's like 2-2 and he what the fuck? And he decides like basically, for example, like you panic, and after he does Morning Crow, right, just raw Morning Crow for example, you try to do a generic down 4 to end the round, but he decides to do the full string. Yeah, imagine that. So even though, okay, it's a very weird scenario, but the point is that even though the strings they use are very unconventional and normally it will never happen in a real scenario, it pays to be prepared. And even though you'll probably never see the light of day that this happens, being prepared for it allows you to cover all options no matter what lah. So if let's say you meet someone who accidentally miss inputs lah, realistically speaking, punish them. So yeah lah. So in this case, I don't need to say much lah. You see this, you block. There's nothing fancy about this. It's meant to combo. Block them. Now, I think that's it for the after part. Now let's switch to. I actually made this list lah, of how I usually do things. It's a bit of a rough text idea, but this is how I usually go about when trying to lab strings and moves lah, or situations. So the last one is the after section, which if let's say you guess right or wrong in a mix-up, right, you want to understand, if I block or get hit by this, right, what can my opponent do to deter me from pressing? Or if I got hit, what are their options? Like if let's say you got knocked down by Kazuya Hell Sweep for example, what can he do? For Kazuya's case, he can do forward to hit you off the ground if you stay grounded, and if you get up, he can just do the vortex over and over, like the Hell Sweep into while standing 2 and so forth lah. That's just an example.
Oh yeah, how to like interrupt his 1-1-2 like very annoying. Jab.
What, he's 1-1?
He's Kazuya. He jab. I mean, Mishimas in general lah. 1-1-2, 1-1-2.
So, okay, so Mishimas in general, right? 1-1-2. Actually, the 1-1-2 is a launch punishable, and most Divergent players, most Mishima players work a grain of salt. They would never just do it wrong. Normally what they like to do is they try to hit confirm the move. So what hit confirming means is basically they just do the first 2 hits in this case, and if let's say like they just throw it out lah, the first 2 hits, they just do 2 1 1 1 1 1, and the moment they see the 1-1 get hit, right, they do the 2, because the third hit, which is the 2, right, there's actually enough there's enough time for you to actually input the third hit before your opportunity ends. So most Mishima players, they usually just throw out 1-1, and if it gets blocked, they either just like sidestep 1-1, 1-1, 1-1, 1-1, and so forth. And if it gets hit, then you just finish the full thing. Now, how do you deal with this? Well, yeah, Mishima players will never do this raw. If they do this raw, then they're clowns lah. Like, you just launch them for their trouble. And so forth lah. Now, what if they just do 1-1 into 1-1 into 1-1 into 1-1? Like this, for example. And like Page Drigger said in the Tekken Dojo chat, right? He's right. It's usually 1-1 is like -1 on lock. So the fastest thing you could really interrupt with is a jab. And it's a bit jarring because sometimes they could always play around with the movement. Like, let's say you want to retaliate with jab, they just sidestep right and then just like do a electric or just do another 1-1.
Exactly, yeah. That's what I encounter.
Ah, okay.
It's like they jab, then suddenly I want to jab, then they sidestep, then electric. Oh, I got combo already.
Yeah. So, what if you face that scenario? Like, for example, let's say, did I do this correctly? Okay, I did. And let's do the other one as okay. Let's say you face a scenario where they're just doing 1-1 over and over and over. You would see Devil Jin play. Well, Mishima players in general, they do this, even Reina. So what can you do? Well, the strategy, right, is to just if let's say you don't want to sidestep, right, you can usually just do two things. You can backdash away and let me do it properly. So what some people like to do, right, especially like crack players, like for example Arslan Ash lah, he does is he and Neil sometimes do this. So let's say they block the 1-1, right, and let's say they assume that the 1-1 is coming again. What they like to do, it's a bit harder in Tekken because of the nerf backdash, but I might as well show if I can. So what they like to do is, after they block the 1-1, right, instead of trying to play into their game and just try to retaliate after only to get hit by the 1-1, they don't play their game and instead rely on movement. They sometimes sidestep or even backdash. And the moment the first hit of the 1-1 hits, right, after the backdash, they try to duck immediately after and just punish her. So this is why like top players like to do a lot.
And the execution must be good.
Yeah, but this is like top player stuff lah. But this is something I might as well just show you like as an option if you're willing to understand it lah. Basically playing around with your movement to make opportunity for yourself. The other and apart from like ducking, right, like the simpler option is to just sidestep and punish accordingly. If let's say you predict he's going to do like a 1-1, you just sidestep, and even if you get hit, it's literally just a 1-1. It's a non-issue. And not this one. And this applies if they want to do the sidestep version. Because realigning with like jab is not easy. And most of the time it just gets you killed like this. Anyone got QR attendance? Next time. So yeah, normally normally when you face like 1-1 in general, right, it's a really jarring move to get with, especially when he mixes it up with other stuff. But you are going to face Devil Jin players that like to use like the single one jab and then do 1-1 a lot. Oh. Yeah, so if you want to retaliate, it's a bit hard, but if you use your movement, then you can get that. Yeah. So you get the idea, chosen?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Not sure whether I can jet up. Jet upper cannot, very slow with a jab.
Can.
Can we? Can.
I'll show it myself. Yeah,
Yo,
you can do this in Tekken 8, Tekken 7 as well. So I know you can.
Jab.
Yeah, I can't say much about like Tekken 8 because I haven't. I mean, it's a new game lah, so I don't know much. As well,
Oh,
yeah,
punish.
so
Okay.
yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you can lah.
Alright. Noted. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. So yeah lah. Against 1-1 in general, you generally want to use your movement. Sometimes it's okay to use your one jab if you feel antsy, but at least for me, right, because I usually don't like to get put into a scenario where I get mixed up by his movement. I try not to play the game and just like try to backdash away if I want to escape pressure, or just sidestep if I want to avoid whatever bullshit they can concoct with the character lah.
Okay.
Something.
Sorry, what?
So about that jab 1-1 presser. When you sidestep, do you push down twice to side walk, or do you push down twice? Just a brief moment for the sidestep.
What?
I just want to see how long you press the down to side or side walk. The 1-1 presser just now.
Oh, how long I sidewalk is it?
Do you sidestep or sidewalk just now for the 1-1 presser?
In this case, I sidewalk. Actually, the thing is, I rarely, unless if it's for certain tool, right, I rarely sidestep. At least for me, right, I usually just sidewalk. Cause especially in Tekken 8, right, I remember I watched a few videos during the beginning. I'm not sure if they changed this in the release, but sidewalking is pretty fucking good. Like sidestep, you can get clipped by shit every now and then, but even though it's better than Tekken 7, but sidewalking is pretty good. You can avoid a lot of stuff. Like, let me show you something. Did you know that let's say Kazuya? I'm sure you've all seen like the Kazuya vortex lah, like the hell sweep and the hell sweep and the wattling 2. But let's say let's say
Oh, sorry.
no, it's all good. There we go. Okay, let's see. Fuck it. Let me do it properly. There we go. So, okay, so to start off, right, it's so good that you can consistently sidewalk left. Now, sidewalk left is like hell sweep mixed up consistently, and you might think to yourself, what about Tekken 7? He can already do that. Well, in Tekken 7, it's a bit harder because the sidestep system is pretty shit. So you can sometimes get clipped even though you did the right thing.
So basically,
Consistent, eh?
Yeah.
so basically
Oh my god. Because when I tried to sidewalk in 7, what, the timing like a bit different, because now the Tekken sidestep is like simplified lah.
Yeah.
Jacket.
So basically, Tekken 8 now is the sidestep is already. I mean, sidewalk already buff lah. Basically.
Yeah. And
Try adding with dash into pedal kick.
pedal kick. Yeah,
That's
yeah, that's a good thing to add in. Wait, his pedal kick is 444, right? I forgot.
forgot.
Oh wait, no, it is 444. Yeah. Oh my god. Alright, so 444, if you see this, it's pretty hard to step this in general. It has pretty good tracking. Steel pedals in general. Oh wow. the Tekken 8 tracking is actually preventing it from like hitting it consistently. Normally I would actually get clipped by this. Huh. I mean I'm still getting clipped lah, but it's like wow, good to know. See? We're labbing as we go. Now let's put this in a real scenario. They sometimes like to do this and then they try to mix up with house speed. And you might think to yourself, man, this is very jarring. How can I deal with this? Now, sometimes what I like to do, right, is let's say if I get that timing, I will try to sidestep left block, sidestep block, and if I eat the steel pedal, it's okay because eventually, right, even if I eat like the steel pedal, all it takes is one block, and this is me just like sidestep blocking to prevent me from simply hitting the vortex of speed. So, and this applies with electric as well, which is still applies with electric. The point is that wait. What was your question? What was your question earlier? Right, it's about
side step and side walk.
Yeah. So so in this case, right, because even in Kazuya's case, right, which he is known for his like ridiculous 50-50s, you can still use your movement to like time it, basically sidestep left block in this case, and still avoid the mishap, even though the vortex is really annoying. And you can do this in Tekken 7 also, despite the nerf changes. The nerf step, I mean.
Okay, one more question about Kazuya. Say you didn't sidewalk or sidestep, you just take the steel pedal, but you block it. You block the steel pedal.
Yeah.
And then you set the Kazuya to do down forward 2 immediately.
Wait, he does steel pedal into down forward 2?
Yes. You block the steel pedal and he does the down forward 2 immediately. Say you want to take your turn after you block the steel pedal, you do a move immediately. This is about a block, but there's a distance between you and your opponent. So you block.
Okay.
So can you understand my question? I want to see if a lap about this. What can you do to take your turn if Kazuya do down forward 2 immediately after you block his steel pedal? Theoretically, it's your turn because you block the steel pedal, but you get counter hit by down forward 2.
That usually that just means you're late or usually that just means you're late lah. But since you play King, I might as well just, since I know you play King, I might as well just like use your character as a scenario lah, just to give you an idea. Alright, so in this case, right, steel pedal is like usually it's like almost borderline unsafe lah. So alright, there you go. Let's see.
Try to jab immediately after you block the steel pedal.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can. Yeah, so the thing about some moves, right? Yeah, for example, like I guess steel pedal in this case lah, cause some moves they usually have like really low block stun. What this means is that even though the animation it looks like he's trying to retract his legs, right? But that doesn't mean you need to press it at the moment he retracts his legs. You can do it before it.
Try to dash in then jab after you block the steel pedal.
Okay.
Okay, so that's what happens usually.
So basically
I try to close the distance so because I'm afraid of briefing.
Alright, so in this case, right, steel pedal in general has really good rules. Okay, I'll just do the first hit first lah, just to prove a point. So, steel pedal, even though it has pushback, right, King's moves have really good range, and he's -9. He is not going to backdash or sidestep anytime soon. So if you really want to prevent him from doing anything, right, you can literally just use your down 4-1 and like prevent him from, deter him from doing anything. And I think in your case, right, like you also need to understand that sometimes it's okay if let's say you know he's going to do a down 4-2, right? Sometimes it's okay to just let it rip. So you can like get a bigger opportunity from there. So in this case, right, if you know that the guy is potentially going to do some silly stuff like this, then you can always like just let them rip even though it's -9 to set yourself for better opportunities. So and this is also useful in high level play as well, because even though you know that the guy is -9, right? Most people they usually block after doing something that is -9. And if you know this, instead of just frame trapping 24/7, sometimes you can just use your movement and get away from. For example, if your back is against the wall, you can just move away from it lah. And then after that, you can play from there. If let's say he did a -9 move into down 4-2 or nothing at all, it's okay. Don't need to frame trap. Just move away or backdash away. You are pretty much given movement for free that you can use to reposition to something better lah. Movement is big.
Usually I block a -9 move, I dash in to do my own mix up, but well, that's why sometimes it down 4-2 because they are bares, things like that.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Like you're trying to do back 4, but for example, let's say you want to do crouch and mix up and then you get counter hit, right?
Yep.
I understand.
Walk in into down 3, things like that.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand. Like sometimes I try to go for like grab mix-ups if they do a -9 move and then I get counter hit. It's very jarring to deal with. So I guess in this scenario, right? If let's say you know the guy is going to mash, you got hit by it the first time, that's fine. If you got counter, if you realize what is it? The fact that he does it right, it just tells you that okay, regardless of whether he's -9 or -10 or whatever, it tells you that this guy is willing to mash at the worst possible cases. So it tells you two things. I could go for a mix up, but should I really go for a mix up against a guy who is very button heavy when I got all these counter hit tools in my disposal to deter him from doing anything? Like, you don't need to force mix-ups. You only do mix-ups when the guy is very respectful to you. If he's not respectful, just frame trap.
Yep. Okay, I understand.
Yeah. Like I think in your case you just need to get into the habit of like you don't need to mix up 24/7. You only need to mix up if they respect you.
Yeah. Face the player.
Yeah.
Background.
Yeah. Don't if you were me, understand your game plan, but play around your opponent. Don't let your playstyle dictate how you want to do things. You have to work around your opponent also. Like fighting games are a two-way conversation. You can't force your way in every time and expect to have a good conversation. You're gonna get shit on sometimes. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, man. Alright. Okay, let's see. I guess I might as well go for the last part lah, which is like trying to lab actual situations, since I got a bit of time. And after that, if you guys have any questions, just post in the chat lah, then I'll try to read them. I might have missed a few because there was so much action going inside the chat. Well, hold on. What if the opponent play passively? How do we approach them without getting hit by the keep up moves? I might as well go into that. But normally, right, against someone who is like very passive, I'll use Jack lah for example. You normally want to use dash blocks in order to close the gap and then pressure them. Then from there you can like go ham lah. like before I go to the next part, I might as well answer this question. So, for example, let's say. Yeah. And then we'll set the timing to shuffle, so it can come out at any different time. So what you normally, right, if let's say at long range, sometimes you see the opponent like try to do keep out down for 2 and you think to yourself, how do I approach this? And just to add another layer, you would see this some Jack players use this sometimes in neutral, and it's a launcher, so it's like free launch one. So let's say you're just trying to play neutral, right? You're trying to, like, he has a life lead and you don't, and you try to approach your opponent. How do you go about this? Well, to do this, I'll pause this for now. You want to do like dash blocking. So what this means is tapping forward, like tapping forward to like dash in a bit, and then holding back immediately. So you are basically just trying to do multiple forward dashes, but also having the safety of trying to block at the same time. Now, what this does, now even though you can still get hit during your dash block, right? If they manage to get the perfect timing on you, by doing dash blocks in general, especially like really tight dash blocks, you prevent yourself from getting hit too consistently when you're trying to approach your opponent. You are basically giving yourself a plan B, a fallout in case if they do try to do the goal for the keep out launcher as you're trying to approach them. You have less chances of getting hit, because eventually when you're on the life deficit, you want to approach them and actually get the comeback, and you cannot do it by just running in blindly. If you do that, you're going to give your opponent timing, then you get hit. So yeah, let's say for example like this, I'm trying to approach my opponent. Let's say I wanna approach my opponent bit by bit. Oh. And yeah, I basically approach my opponent bit by bit, and the moment he whiffs something, or the moment I block something, then I get a free punish. And then after that, I go ham lah. Like the moment you go in, and then the moment you go in, you already won. That just means you can pretty much do whatever you want, do mix-ups. They can't simply do keep out launches at this rate anymore, because now if they do that, you just have to play around your frames. You have to play around the moment. Yeah, so now they want to do keep out launches or do anything, or it's like, what can they do? You already dash blocked and you got close, you won. So I'll repeat it again lah. I'm playing neutral, I want to dash block. Yeah. I make it with by dash blocking. Oh yeah, dash block, dash block. Dash block, 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 dash block. There we go. I'll repeat it again. Something like that lah. So if you want to approach your opponent, you want to use your dash blocks to get in bit by bit as safe as possible, and the moment the guy whiffs in your face, which you most likely will, or if you block it, you punish accordingly lah. And not only that, another good thing about dash blocking is that it allows you to actually what's the word? Mix up your timing when you're trying to approach, or at least when you're trying to approach lah. And that's a whole different mind game. So if let's say you know your opponent has your timing right, and you're trying to approach in general, dash blocking allows you to do that lah. That's another reason why dash blocking is really good. I swear I got clipped by a dash blocking much more in this game. To be fair, it can either mean two things. It's either, because I've seen it also, sometimes it means that your dash blocks might be too loose. Like for example, you run a full marathon and then you hold back. It happens. I remember I have a few friends who they say they're dash blocking, but they're actually running a full marathon, then they hold back. Sometimes maybe it just might be that your moment is too loose, or the second option, you are just really unlucky lah. It happens to the best of us also. Even me, sometimes he would try to backdash and then he just gets clipped by keep out 4-4 1+2 with Jack, or just keep out launchers in general lah. It doesn't happen often, but it can happen. So it's like, you know, it's like a 1 in 1,000 chance that it happens lah. But if it happens, it sucks. But the point is, just because the chances are so low doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. Like it covers much more options than Devil Gene Heat Smash is unblockable at times. You know what? That's fucking true. That move is fucking annoying. Wait, Pang, you're playing ranked though? Okay, like that. I guess that means what he's saying then. Apart from that, I guess that's it for the dash block part. Is there any other? What is it? There it is. Question. You can just answer this after the final segment if there's still time. When do you choose to crouch jump over other options when under pressure? I find that I neglect it in favor of side step. See, the thing about dig jab is that it's an option to interrupt pressure, but it's not the best one because it's people can just low parry, people can just frame trap, people can sidestep around it. It's not considered. Dig jabbing has never been considered to be a good option in the first place. It never has been. It's just an option because, you know, it's fast and it goes on the highs. So it's just a way to get a cheeky interrupt lah to whatever you want. You know, you can stick. So I'd say there's no there's no real answer to that lah, Daimon. You can do it at any time you feel like it. That let's say they're like +5, right, and they want to go for mid, and they want to go for a slow mix up. You can just do a big jump to interrupt them if you really feel like you're under pressure. But I think the fact that you're using your moment more, like you're trying to sidestep or backdash, right, or maybe even interrupt, I guess maybe those are better options than what dig jab has to offer. Dig jabbing is just an option just to throw them off, but it's not the best one out there lah. If anything, it's one of the worst ones actually, because you know the ways you can deal with it and the reward you get from dig jabbing in general is like pretty shit lah. Unless if you are Akuma, but you know, this is not Tekken 7. Some it won't sidestep fine enough to bit of move. No, you can sidestep and I go. Yeah, that shit happens. That happens. After we tap dash input, there's a slight running motion. Can we block during that? Yes. Like, yeah, you can, like, it's the same as Tekken 7 lah. Even though you have the running motion, right? It's the same as Tekken 7 where you can just block even if you're running. Yeah, no difference. Like the animation part is purely just to make like running moves easier, especially in close range. But in terms of like trying to cancel it, it doesn't affect it at all. It's still the same. The only difference is that now you can like do more running moves, much easier lah.
I notice when when you perform the any running moves in T8 much easier than T7.
Yeah.
Because T7, I want to do the running move like example like Juggernaut, right? It's very hard lah.
Yeah.
Like you need to be in a running motion, then you can do the move.
Yeah, in Tekken is much easier now thanks to like the running animation that it gives you. So if you tap forward 3 times, right, you get the running animation, like even at point blank. So in this case, right, it just makes running moves much more easier to do, like because you can just tap 3 times and then press like your running move. And during any part of the running animation, you just press your running move, and it will come out regardless. You don't need to do it like, you don't need to execute it like the instant wall running version anymore. So this helps like Dragunov players who can't do the instant wall running move do the pressure lah. It's, of course, it's better to do the just sprint version because of more damage lah, but it at least allows for a bit more leniency for the new guys who want to get into the game but don't want to learn the really hard mechanics because they're really hard. This makes it easier for them. So yeah, that's the answer. It's a Tekken 8 mechanic. Tekken 7 they don't have this. Yeah. Wait. Before I continue. So Samsari is Ambatun. I'll just call her Ambatunat. Does the question, the answer I gave just now about like approaching opponents, is that satisfactory? Is there anything that, any add-on you want to talk about, like any personal experiences?
Yeah, boy. No man, thanks man. I usually just since I use ball, right, I just sway left, right, sway, then cancel to left, cancel to right. Sometimes I can just hit. So yeah, I'll just try to do more.
Do you know how to? Actually, no. KBD doesn't even matter. Like, yeah, like in this case, I'll just do it also lah. Yeah lah, it's the same case. You just move from, let's say max range, right? Just yeah, you just like move forward and back, forward and back, forward and back, forward and back. Also, I can hear your mic in the background. Just saying.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So I can just like move forward a bit, like forward and back. And the moment I see a whip, I just punish accordingly. And or if I block, because you are Paul, you got back me. So that's a 14 frame high launcher, and I heard that the range actually got buffed. Eh? Oh, keep range. Yeah. Basically it's the same thing for any character. Like you can do this punish any character. Just type deep dash blocks and then punish accordingly lah. And guess him Paul.
I see.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem. Let's see. If there's any questions that I miss or any add-on questions that you want me to answer, just ask lah. Oh, I'm still confused with the heat system. Is it okay to ask in this session all day? To be honest, I wouldn't know how to answer that now lah. So I think next time lah when we learn the game more.
I just want to know since Tekken 8 the backdash been nerfed, right? Is it possible? Is it is it possible to practice like to to make your movement better?
Practice to make your movement better.
Like you backdash, because I until now I don't know how to properly backdash.
Okay, so the thing about like backdashing, like doing movement right in general, is that you have to. Normally, what I usually do right is I just go to practice mode and just try to get used to backdashing in general. I just like perform the inputs over and over and over, like a lot.
Get ready for the next battle.
So I play on pad, so I do not know how to move very fast, right?
Sorry, continue.
Like I keep when I'm trying to back down, I keep like moving to my I shift to my right side. I shift to my right side.
I don't use pads, so I cannot answer that question. But in my case, I use a stick, and I guess I don't know how to perform the input on pad in general, but the input should be the same regardless of. Apart from hitboxes, it should be the same regardless of what controller you use lah. It's just like backdash, and then you tap down back for a split second, you let go, and then backdash. Backdash, down back for a split second, let go, backdash, down back for a split second, let go, and then you just repeat this over and over.
Can I show you my screen? Like,
yeah, sure.
Like,
yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Because it's a
okay. Before you continue, Pang, to answer your question, right? Character specific sessions for now, no, because the game just came out and we don't know who's going to be the specialist at this character, so it's a bit too early to say lah. But I think as time goes on, like maybe within 1 or 2 months from now, when everyone's settled on what character they want to play, right? At least we are planning to ask like some character specialists, like at least from this Discord or maybe from other scenes, right? To maybe act as like a special lecturer who will teach how to use this character, whether they want to or not lah. But this is tentative to whether we can get our hands on one lah. So hopefully in the future, when everyone gets their character, we can hold sessions like this lah. Okay, Paul switches from Paul. I can tell you, Pang, he's not going to switch to any other character other than Paul. I think Paul's the only character that I've seen him play.
No, how is the backdash like that? Is it back?
Sorry. Let me see. Okay, so in your case, right, you are holding the down too long. You want to move. Okay, I don't know how to perform it on pad lah. Basically, you want to let go as quick as you can lah. Because in this case, you're just holding it too long. You are holding the down input too long. Yeah, see? Now you are doing a bit better lah. See?
But it's a bit slow
yeah, not like at this point you really just need to fine tune it lah. But from the looks of it, you seem to have the rough idea of how to do the KBD. Like you are getting the idea. I don't have much else to say apart from just like you just need to keep going into practice mode and getting used to the input lah. Cause I think for every newcomer for every like intermediate and above player in this call right now or even in this Discord, we all went through this struggle also when we tried to learn KBD and it took us like maybe a week or depending on the player like maybe a few hours, a week, 2 weeks. Took me like 2 weeks to get used to KBD, and even then I still mess up. Yeah, so don't worry about it lah. Like just keep practicing the KBD.
Thanks.
Yeah. You got the idea of KBD lah. I don't need to explain much. You just need to practice it. Yeah.
Why? Someone say 6 months to do KBD.
I wouldn't be surprised. KBD is not an easy thing to do, and some people like they have the idea of how to do it, but it's not. But it's easier said than done to get it like efficiently and consistently. Yeah lah. I think the only character I've seen Pongkon play is either Paul. I've seen him play Law once, and I've seen him try Devil Jin once. Those are only 2 characters I've seen him play. I don't know why I don't know why you pick up Devil Jin once. Of all characters.
I was trying to Weivu.
Shameless.
Could not Weivu.
Alright. Since I just entered the call, so there was a multitude of questions about various topics, right? But putting that aside, I think the most, I'll just bring up the screen lah. To answer your question, Tosser. Where is it? Where's the notepad? Okay, there it is. Okay. switch to this. Nope, that. Okay. So back to your question, Toso. So basically, I was just like explaining topics, explaining concepts of how I would usually lab lah, which usually revolves down to three things. Understand whether I can deal with. Can I deal with the move before it comes out? Can I deal with the move during the situation? And can I deal with it after? So I'll just give a brief summary lah, but I won't explain the full thing. I'll post it on YouTube later lah. So before means, can I deal with the move before it comes out, whether it be through movement or by keep up buttons or so forth. During is when you block the move, or when you get hit, when you block the move, or when you get hit by a move, like for example a string, right? For example, let's say you get hit by Azucena down for 1-4. What can you do with in dealing the extensions afterwards? Or better yet, let's say you get hit by Azucena 1-1, +8 on hit, and then you got all these other extensions. What can you do? Like basically you go through the trial and error of going through each and every move in the string, and see what are your best options lah, if any. And after means, if let's say you got hit, if let's say you guess wrong or you guess right, and let's say you guess right and you block properly lah. For example, if it's a safe move, usually, what can you do afterwards? I mean, what can your opponent do afterwards that prevent you from taking your turn? For example, let's say you block Fang's down 4-3, or let's say Fang's basically any -7 move that Fang has. He can do Sabaki, for example, like down 4-3 into 1+2. I'm sure a lot of like Tekken 7 players, they got hit by this. He can do down 4-3 into nothing at all. He can do, let's see, backswing blow. He can do back kenpo and so forth lah. So it's, you know, I might as well just show you since I brought up the topic. But yeah, it's basically stuff like that lah. And if let's say you got hit, you guess wrong, and then she decides, okay, I hit you by, I guess right and I hit you already. What are her options after? Let's say she hit you with mid hit that is +5 on hit and dealt like 20 damage. Okay, you +5 and then she's +5. Now you need to understand, okay, she's +5. What are the moves that are 15 frames and below, or moves she can do to deter me from pressing a button and so forth. But I won't. Well, I guess I can get into that if I got the time. Yeah. So in this case, if you haven't seen this before, if you so much as jab after this, you get Sabaki. Back then, he will give you a launcher. But now, at least you can throw lah. Don't know if what time, maybe can talk about. Oh yeah, I guess I should mention. I guess at this point, right? I think at this point I'll just be answering questions. But I think the main topic of, oh, I didn't change my screen. I think the main topic of like labbing is almost done. So if you don't have any other questions that you wish to ask, right, then I guess you can feel free to go lah, and thank you so much for coming. But if you want to stay to listen to me like answer questions, or if you have any other questions you want to answer yourself, just feel free to ask. I open to anything. Okay, so
like if in the future, do they have any like character tutorial guideline or something like that?
For now we won't do it now lah, because it's too early. It's only been 3 weeks. So if we do it, wait, no, now it's already 4 weeks actually. It's been a month. Right?
Yeah,
almost a month lah. So it's too early to make a character discussion thing, because no one really has like their characters down yet. Like it's only been a month. It's too early. Maybe we can wait like 1 more month, or maybe like 3 weeks like that. And once everyone like settles down with the character they like to play, or at least gets really efficient with the characters, then we can really start like finding character specialists on and so forth lah. And this is assuming they actually want to come into the call. But if they do, we'll be happy to have them on board to give discussions on how to deal with X character lah. And if let's say any of you in the chat, if you're like really like what is it? You really know your character well and you're willing to teach, feel free to come to us. You just PM me or Pongkwon, whichever you prefer, and just ask us, okay, I want to do a session like this. You just let us know and then we can set something up lah.
The guy who asked the question, I know you play Brian. You can check the channels down there. There's resources that are posted.
Wait, what was it on?
What? I don't know.
Oh, can you wait? Is my mic working?
Yeah, I can hear you, but
the guy who asked the question for like character specific stuff, I know he plays Brian, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can just check the channel there. There's resources there. We're all still learning the character though, so it's not final.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a bit too early lah. So I think like once it settles down, we'll definitely look into something. All right. Let's see if I miss anything here. Okay. Lyrics. Don't even got time. Maybe you can talk about what you can do during -1, -5 to -6 to 9 situations. Okay, so generally the rule of thumb, right, for if let's say if you block a move that is -1 to 5, your opponent can still move around, like your opponent can still move around or try to interrupt in order to get the momentum lah. So for example, if let's say what's a -4 move, huh? Okay, I can't think of any -4 moves on top of my head lah. But let's say I block a -4 move. I see that it's minus. Normally, I would try to retaliate, right? But sometimes you would have opponents who, let's say, like sidestep after. So not only does this actually take your turn away because they use their movement to, you know, prevent you from taking your pressure, even though they're minus on block. I know this is 0 on block lah, but let's just pretend. Yeah. So yeah lah. This for example, they're minus on block, but they're using the movement to prevent you from doing anything. So what can you do around this? So in this scenario, right, during like -1 to 0 on block to -5 situation, for example, you can retaliate if you have the read on them. But what usually people do, right, especially in the higher level plays, they don't retaliate. Instead, they actually get positioning. So in fighting games, right, even though the main goal is to hit your opponent down to 0, if you are able to position yourself in such a way that whether it be you getting your opponent to the wall or you getting to a range which is comfortable for you and your game plan, then that will be beneficial in the long run. Sometimes if let's say your opponent does something that's like -5 on block, but you're not really sure you want to retaliate because they might do a parry or backswing blow or something silly lah that is punishable or something. You can always just not play the game. You can always just like use your movement to get away or use your movement like lateral movement to move around it. For example, like I mentioned earlier, this is an example. +5 into this. If you jab, you're going to get Sabaki. Now for 1, hits lah. But yeah lah. So instead of playing with this, right, you can always like use your movement, or you can just backdash your way and just take the block, punish accordingly. Oh, it's minus 13 now. They actually nerfed it. That's good. But yeah, that's a rough point of like how you would deal with like 0 on block to minus 5 situations. And alright, for those of you who want to leave, just feel free to leave lah. I'll just be answering questions here. But thank you so much for coming. So anyways, back to the point. So let's say they want to do 1-2 into 1-2. Now this one's a bit more tricky lah, because now, at least in Frank's case, right, he can do stuff like down back 3 or down 2, and then he extend his pressure even further. But at the same time, you must think to yourself, if let's say I decide to play his game and retaliate, right, how would this set me up? What if he uses movement? And of course you have to think about like whether the play will actually do it up. But if let's say he does it, then what? Oh. I don't know how to set it. I don't know how to set it properly lah. Normally I would like set it. There we go. There we go. Something like that lah. It's hard for me to set it efficiently, but it's to give you a point lah. If you try to retaliate too much, even though like the minus, then you can they can basically use their lateral movement, and they can mix this up by doing something like down back 3 or so. So if you try to jab retaliate, you're just gonna get hit like this. So if let's say you don't want to take the pressure, you want to avoid the situation in the first place, like 0 to 5, 0 on block to minus 5 on block, but you don't want to deal with stuff like this. Well, at the end of the day, you either learn to retaliate. You either have a really good read and just like know when to retaliate, or just use the movement. And honestly, I really suggest you do the second option. The movement option, because it's better in the long run, like I said, because you are able to get better positioning, whether you want to get closer or further from your opponent, or you want to get them to the wall. But it allows you to set up for stuff like what I just showed you a few seconds ago lah. And the good thing is, like I said prior, that because stepping is so sidewalking is so much better now. Normally this will clip you, but now in Tekken 8 you can do this, and it's really rewarding. Now you can do like stupid moves like this. So yeah, if it's 0 to 5, use your movement. Now let's say it's minus 6 to minus 9, like as Lurik said earlier. In this situation, normally you have more of a reason to mash right. However, you might also ask, what if they use stuff like backswing blows? What if they use stuff like the Sabaki, let's say the Sabaki parry. Wait, no, back one, right? Let's say you're both low HP and you just block his down 4-3. But you decide to frame trap and you got hit by this, then you're dead. Now what would be the best way to deal with about this? Oh, there's no play launch anymore. Now, even though he is -7, what would be the best way to go about this? Rare situations like this, normally when you're -7, you're able to just simply like game trap lah. But there are some characters where even if they're -7, you can't simply game trap. Most of the time you can just game trap and get away with it. But I'm gonna talk about the outliers, because outliers are the things that matter at the end of the day. for some of these cases. So what can you do? You should move it. Or just don't play it. Just don't play that. Don't play that game. Like, I think all of these situations, I think to summarize, right, all of these situations from like 0 to 9, you can usually just play around with your movement if you don't want to play with the mix-ups. But otherwise, you literally just, all you need to do is just frame trap with like a fast tool that you have, depending on your character. You use Brian, you got down for 2. You use Shahi, you use down for 1, and so forth and so forth. Or you can just use your jabs. The point is that whenever you're in a situation where it's like 0 to 9, I mean 0 like low minus, it's usually more efficient to just like move around and like gain mileage from there. And usually in late minus, you usually want to frame trap a lot. But if they do have like a panning tool, like for example the Sabaki parry or the backswing blow, and you know they're going to use it, sometimes it's okay to just go, okay, there's a chance he might do backswing blow, but I got the life lead. I don't need to play this. I can just walk away. I can just walk away and let them hang themselves. And even though you reset neutral, you have the life lead. And now you can just like get better positioning from there and or just keep them out. So yeah, that's to answer your question, lyrics. Hopefully that helps. Ryan, at what rank would you consider a player experienced? Not necessarily a good player, but experience. Rank okay, it's not a topic I would like to. I wouldn't recommend rank lah, but I guess if you want me to give a threshold, I would say Fujin. That's when usually Fujin is when you find the people who are somewhat competent lah. But even then, it's like I've also seen Fujin players who really just don't know how to play the game at all. Like I'm talking green rank can be low level despite being in Fujin rank. So take that as you will. But I think more competent players are usually around those ranks lah. That's like the base threshold. That's like where the real Tekken begins. But honestly, I don't like to use rank as a basis of skill because it's not. It's really not. But yeah lah, that answers the question. And I guess that's. Do any of you have any other questions you want to ask? If not, I can just show you one more thing, then we can call it a day lah. So let me give you a rundown. So this is a jobber. The Lily player is a jobber lah. He's a Malaysian Lily player, started around 2018. Fundamentals top tier. And with the addition of like Lily's new toolset in Tekken 8, right, along with Jobber's fundamentals, needless to say, right, all of these games I got shit on lah. Like, I think we played more than like 30 plus games. I think he 10 streaked me twice lah. No, I think like 50 plus already, but he almost 10 streaked me twice. So it was basically I got shit on yesterday lah. I was really salty. So right now I'm just gonna show. Let's say you want to review matches, right? Right now I'm just trying to give a bonus topic lah. Like, let's say you're facing a situation where, okay, I got shit on by some stuff. How do I lab it? So thanks to the thanks to Tekken 8's new replay system, right, where you can actually control see, you can actually control the character as the replay is going, which is really good, because instead of going all the way back to practice mode again, you can just do it on the go. So let's see what I cannot deal with here. So you block the mix up. This is okay. So for example, I actually faced trouble with the back turn mixers because now she has an additional she has additional lows and moves that basically prevents you from simply sidestepping her back turn. So normally, right, when she's back turn, you can actually sidestep her, and she cannot do much about it. She actually has to take the L. But now, because of her new homing tool and her new lows, she can now just simply put you into a 50-50 and so forth lah. So that's to give you a rundown, but that's not the main part. I think the main part was her G-Clef, which I don't know why they use her. Okay. This should be it. Alright, okay, so basically, to give you an idea of the G-Clef, right, is that it's the third hit is minus 15 on block, but if you so much as try to counter hit the first two hit that allows her to go into back turn into like a whatever mix up she wants, then it's a full on counter launcher lah. And that's why it's a bit annoying, especially for June, because she only has a 16 frame launcher and she can just shit out the G-Clef at any time she wants, and June cannot do anything about it. Yeah, she has a G-Clef now, and it's a full-on counter launcher. I mean, it's minus 15 lah, but it's like, for June it's a bit shit because I cannot launch it, and it's very annoying. Like, I actually lost a lot of games because of it. It's really annoying. But yeah, for those of you who want to leave this, feel free lah. But right now it's just a bonus topic because it's basically just me, like how I do things lah. Like I would go into, let's say I play something I don't like, right? I go into replays. I find the shit that pisses me off the most, like that my opponent likes to do, and I will go into practice mode right after and just like lab it. Like I recognize the swing, I go to lab, I lab it. Or at least I recognize the situation. This is not This is so slow. Okay, so she's in rage. Going to eat. And I died. Right now I'm trying to find that like Chica stuff like if possible. I guess this is another thing I guess I could go for. Yeah, so this is another thing that she can do in Tekken now. Is that she can do QCF 2+4 into that. And not only is she like what do you call it? And not only is she still plus on block, she can also go into the sidestep mix-ups, which on hit the low is a knockdown, and the mid is a hit launcher. So so on hit, in hit, this move is actually quite this mix-up is actually quite deadly. Let alone it comes down from a plus on block. Plus on block. And it's still homing as well, like even though they remove the tracking. So in this case, what can you do? Well, the good news is they actually reduce the range a bit compared to before, a bit only. So you can at least like punish it. But in this case, right, even though it's +6, if you know she's going to go for the side stab, then you can at least smash it out. Like. So let's say she does a QCF 3+4. Let's say she does QCF 3+4. She has to manually go to the sidestep input, and you can sort of just like recognize the animation coming out. Let's let's say she doesn't do the animation, you don't mash. But if you see her trying to sidestep, you mash. Even though she's like half block, if the moment she sidesteps right, she loses her turn. And I'm not even sure if she can block afterwards. Like nothing problem lah, to save launcher. But yeah lah, that's a basic that's one way of how I do things. I would find out what string she does, I go to the lab, I practice it. In Tekken 8 it's
Is the
fast.
low reactable?
Sorry?
The low. After that, we got a low, right? Is it reactable or we
No,
gotta just.
no, you have to take the L. It's a pure
Damn.
50-50. You have to take the L. You really
Okay
just
lah.
got to take the L. Like it's a really bullshit mix up that. Yeah lah, you not much you can do to it. It's yeah lah, not much you can do to it. You really just have to recognize after QCF 3.4 that she jumped, I must mash, otherwise I die. Otherwise you have to deal with this shit. It's minus 13 on block, on block, and then you have to deal with the mix up, and it's both safe and they're safer than they should be. Then it leads me to situations like this lah, where I have to guess for my life, and even then I'm not rewarded enough. So yeah lah, that's basically the bonus section lah on how I usually try to lap situations when viewing replays. Safe launches, boom, yeah, true. I guess that's pretty much it for now lah. I don't think I have anything else to say anymore. Anything else is just like I'm answering any questions you guys want. So if you guys have any more questions, this is the last time you can say for now lah, and then we can just call it for the day. So anyone else? Any questions perhaps? Well, I guess if no questions, then I'll guess we'll call it for the day lah. So yeah, so this is my first ever coaching session in MOSG, and there's going to be more to come. We're definitely gonna try and improve it over time, and maybe try to do it quicker or slower depending on people's preferences. But overall, this is a rough idea of how we're going to do these coaching sessions. And if you have any suggestions, feel free to PM us or just say it here, or like type in the text chat, and we'll definitely try to implement it to the best way possible. But for now, I hope you guys enjoy the coaching session. So yeah, thank you so much for coming, guys.